What in the world are these? Well, these are the washers, spacer plates, whatever you'd like to call them. Some people call them flex plates. That might not be the correct term, but these are just the spacers that go, thin plates that go between the engines and transmissions of most vehicles. It's more or less there as a kind of a dust shield. Kind of keeps the engine and transmission from oxidizing together in an unbreakable bond. But that's the biggest reason behind using these. Now you don't have to use these, but when you do, it does prevent your engine and transmission from welding together. Welding together via rust, oxidization, things of those nature. That's what these do. These are pretty much just oxidation barriers, what they're most effective at. But they also help. They also help you peel apart the engine another way. And you see that these holes, you can see they're outcropped, so you can fit a pry bar in these areas to peel apart your engine and transmission. That helps a lot. Sometimes that's all you need to get your engine and tranny unmounted or unbonded. Now this aluminum one is from a 1.6 CVH, and the steel one is from a 1.9 CVH. Both of these are only from 1981 to 1990 motors. So again, this would be 81 to 85, and then this one's only 86 to 90. Now these 1.6s, most of them do have a plate similar to this that would normally be on the bottom. I'll get this out of your way so you can see what I'm talking about. But there'd be an additional plate just like this one. Not this one though. This one is actually from a Mustang with a 200 straight 6 on it. This is what this belongs to. But the plate that matches this top one is real similar to this Mustang one I have. Just wanted to show it to you. And this one's not too important. This one is more of a dust shield. You can see that's kind of all it collects on the bottom here. That just shields off the bottom half of the bell housing. That little bit. It covers that bottom section up, because obviously these motors don't. All the space here is what the engine doesn't cover. There's a little bit of oil pan protection, but with these 1.6s, it's not much at all. Most of what you see there is just a giant bracket underneath the oil pan to hold up coolant lines. And they're not essential. All that can disappear. And if you want to, once you make those brackets disappear, you can make that lower half disappear. On the 1.9s, they don't have that lower half. It's just this. You can see that they already have a bottom section included. And then this one is to bolt onto the bottom of the oil pan. You can see 2 bolt holes there. So bolts go through that oil pan, through this, and into your transmission. Now we can overlay these, and they line up perfectly, as they should, because the 1.9 CVH is literally only a 1.6 CVH, but with a deck height that's something like 0.220 inches taller, because it's a non-interference motor. That little bit is all it takes to prevent the valves from touching the pistons at any point when a belt breaks, whatever. And then the 1.9s also use these aluminum oil pans and a different timing cover, and more or less that's about where the differences end, or the major ones end. But yeah, you can see here all the bolt holes line up perfectly, every single one. Starter is in the same location. Everything's right, and these are about the same thickness. If there is a difference, it's marginal. Like I said, these 1.9s are steel and the 1.6s are aluminum, so whichever you'd prefer, you're welcome to use. It don't matter to me. But there is a difference in how they are held up. Now on the 1.6, On the bottom most bolt holes, you can see that there's 2 steel dowels. One big one there, and one big one there. So then, these guys kind of sneak on, press on pretty good, and then once on, they stay on real good. So those are designed to hold this right, but their primary purpose is to align the transmission perfectly. Now you can see on this flex plate that those 2 dowel holes, pinholes, whatever you'd like to call them, they are slightly oblong. Not just larger, but oblong. That's so that this plate can move back and forth to match as needed. Because these plates, this one being aluminum, so this one in particular, they can travel in and out. So the distance from this hole to this hole will vary plate to plate, just because that's what happens. Metal bends, metal stretches, metal compresses. That's what happens. These steel ones are less likely to do that, but you can see that they still oblong one side, and the other one, if it's oblonged at all, it's marginal. But on the 1/9s, instead of having this dowel that's pressed in, the dowels on the 1/9s are in the same location, of course, but they are stepped. You can see that one is stepped. So these dowels go in after this plate. You go down here, you can see that's why that dowel is zip tied in. It's because that one fits loosely. Sometimes they're really snug and really hard to get out. Vice grips, decent pliers, as long as you're not distorting that dowel pin, is a good way of getting those out. So you can use either of these on either engine, no problem. But just be aware if you're trying to take the plate off a 1/9, those bottom 2 dowels have to come out first to get the plate off. Sometimes you can use the plate to get the dowels off. That's what I had to do with this one. That's why it's bent right here. It took me forever to get it out, but I did get it out. Combination of heat, penetrating oil, and some finesse. Did get it out. Just took some time. Now these dowel pins on the 1/9 are not compatible with the ones on the 1/6s. Once these go into the block, they're kind of there for life. You can pull them out, but there's no benefit to doing it unless you need to clean out those holes. But there's other ways of doing that. Yeah, sadly you can't use those press-in ones on the 1/9. That'd be nice, because you see the block is cast iron, so as it rusts, you can really pinch those suckers in. But I think I've covered all the differences I wanted to, so I'll let you guys go and you have a fun time out there.